Ladies and gentlemen, many of our men don't want to wear makeshift masks that people are doing from their homes because, our men are always targeted for every little reason under the sun. And they fear wearing some of these masks that are being made, and they go outside and get harassed for having gang affiliation. So they prefer to wear a mask that will just clearly be one on their face. But it doesn't stop them from discriminating. I know many of you probably saw the two black men that went into Walmart and they had a mask on, and the cop made them leave, didn't want them there. So it don't matter. But I certainly understand where our men are coming from on this because they are targeted so much in this country. Of course, they're going to be self-conscious about this too. So this came out on NBC News. Black men fear homemade coronavirus masks could exacerbate racial profiling. The CDC's guidance on wearing masks outside comes with an added burden for minorities. If you're a person of color, you can't just wear a mask. So we know there are already incidents out here, and it shouldn't even be this way. I don't even know what these cops are doing out here. They themselves are getting coronavirus and dying from it as well. I think it actually matters that when I'm walking in public, the fact that I have, they're talking about how they feel comfortable, and we're always scrutinized in public for all kinds of reasons, and I can certainly understand that. I don't think we worry less about how we're handled by police because this is the time of coronavirus. I don't think so at all. Greg Iwinski, a comedian writer in New York City, who, like Carrington, is black, says he also takes added precautions to avoid drawing unwanted attention to himself while going outside during coronavirus outbreak. While Iwinski doesn't have a dog, or he doesn't go out walking a dog, but he does have a 1-year-old son who is biracial, and he puts him in the stroller and, of course, walk around with his son. The only time he doesn't take his son out is when he, for instance, goes jogging or have to go to the grocery store. Many people of color, particularly black men, had grown accustomed well before the coronavirus outbreak to adjust the way they present themselves in public so they don't appear threatening to law enforcement or their white peers. Wow. Yet the Center for Disease Control and Prevention recent guidance that all Americans should wear a mask covering outside to curb the spread of COVID-19 came with added considerations and fears that makeshift masks, especially bandanas, could intensify already widespread racial profiling in communities of color. From walking with their pets and children, only wearing medical masks to forego mask altogether, Black Americans have been disproportionately affected by the global pandemic. And what they fail to tell you is many of these people that have died worked in essential jobs. And the mainstream media is the main culprit of leaving that big key of it out deliberately. And we know why they're doing it. We know the obvious reasons why they're doing that. And others are taking precaution to ensure the following CDC recommendation doesn't put them at further risk. The CDC coming to you and saying, put a bandana over your face, walk out, and that will make you more safe. As a black man in New York City, it's like them saying to put a hoodie on and walk behind a white grandma. Yeah, exactly. That's not how life works for us. I already have people crossing the street to avoid me when I'm wearing my just my glasses and wow, and just casually walking around. Mm-mm-mm. According to Mark Anthony Neal, the chairman of the Department of African Studies at Duke University, bandanas have historically been associated with violence against people of color, and wearing certain colors in the wrong context has gotten people killed. Red bandanas and blue bandanas, in particular, have been connected with gang affiliation and been used by the Los Angeles gangs, the Bloods and the Crips, as a means of identification. If you are a person of color, you can't just wear a mask, Neil told NBC News. You have to be conscious of wearing a mask in a way that will be disarming, even comforting for some of the people you share social spaces with. And I'm sure those are concerns that most white peers don't have to worry about. No, they don't. They have never been targeted like us. Even before the CDC issued its face covering guidance, Matt Rogers, chief of staff for Senator Dave Marden, has weighed the costs and benefits of doing so. Although his mother gave him insight on how to wear a mask may protect against asymptomatic transmission of the coronavirus. Rogers, who was black, said worst fear was that wearing a mask that could lead people to calling the cops on him or getting him killed, especially after an incident in October 2018 in which he was escorted out of his apartment building after a white neighbor threatened to call cops on him. He has reused N95 mask, hoping that the obvious technicality will show people he's not a threat. Wow. That's a damn shame. Even during a pandemic in the Black community, our people have to go above and beyond just to stay alive through the damn thing. This is just outrageous. But just understand they rigged it up to be this way, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that. These stigmas were put on us a long, long time ago. And this media has been very integral in our deaths and in the negative stigma that's on the community. They have a lot to do with it. Okay, a YouTube video last month showing a white police officer following two black men wearing surgical masks in an Illinois Walmart and instructing them that a city ordinance prevent them from wearing masks in public. And that received over 200,000 views as of Wednesday morning. Yeah, and there's no such thing as some ordinance that says you can't wear a mask. These people, they just lie about everything. Everything. And again, something that's easy to look up or make a phone call over and find out. I don't believe there's no such ordinance. He just saw an opportunity to mess with two black men. Wednesday morning stoked concerns that people of color would be targeted for the following CDC guidelines. Wow. This is why Jenny Kipp, who is an 18-year-old black son, posted on Facebook urging her friends and acquaintances to check your biases and not be scared of Black people in masks. Well, I wish it was that simple. Like every mother, I want my son to be safe wearing a mask, Kip wrote. I beg you to take a moment to breathe and check in with yourself before you let your unconscious bias affect your behavior. As for those who may criticize others' decision to not wear a mask, Iwinski said, they should take the time to emphasize and educate themselves. This should be a moment of extreme empathy, Iwinski said. We have the time and we have the space and we have the ability to understand how other people have suffered in ways that aren't a disease, but might be a societal disease, and that this is a moment that we can stop and learn. Well, that's easier said than done, you know? We haven't seen all these biases stop because there's a pandemic. These people don't operate like that. And, I recently did a podcast on all the biases that were shown during the Spanish flu. Very, almost a carbon copy of what we're seeing now. All the way down to Black people during the second waves were the ones spreading the virus. They said the same thing during the Spanish flu, y'all. It's almost like the same damn people are alive now. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. And if you haven't gotten over to listen to my podcast, please get over there and listen. You will find it in my community tab. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.